Have you ever noticed that the more you open up to your family, the more complicated things seem to get? You begin with good intentions. You want to be open and honest, to feel closer, and to stay connected. But somehow, the more you share, the more your peace begins to disappear. This is something many people discover after they turn 65. And it's not because their families don't love them. Quite the opposite. It's because love is messy. With love come expectations, emotions, and opinions. And when you start laying everything on the table, sometimes you get reactions you never expected or wanted. There's a quiet truth that some people only realize later in life. Being completely open about everything doesn't always bring people closer. It can sometimes push them away, or worse, make you feel like you've lost control of your own life. So, in this video, let's just have a conversation. Not a lecture, just one person talking to another about a few things that are better kept private after 65. Not because you're being sneaky, but because protecting your peace and dignity matters more than ever. If you've ever walked away from a conversation feeling emotionally drained or wished you hadn't said so much, then this message is for you. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a space for kind, thoughtful seniors who want to live the next chapter of their lives with calm, strength, and grace. Let's begin. Secret number 1. Your exact financial situation. This one is big. Many people think that being open about their finances with their family will bring peace of mind and help prevent future arguments or confusion. And yes, it sounds wise. That's what Martin thought too. Martin is 81 years old now, a retired engineer who spent his life saving carefully and living within his means. A soft-spoken man with a warm smile and a tidy little home. One day, he decided it was time to sit down with his 2 sons and go over everything. He printed out spreadsheets, explained how he managed his investments, walked them through the estate, plans, and even showed them the house deed. He thought it would be a moment of trust and relief, a way to prepare the family for the future. But what followed surprised him. Instead of gratitude came questions, lots of them. Dad, why are you still living alone in such a big house? Shouldn't you consider assisted living before something happens? What's your plan if you need long-term care? One of his sons even suggested moving in with him, just in case anything came up. It wasn't that they didn't care. They cared a lot. That was the problem. Suddenly, Martin found himself second-guessing every decision. Was it okay to buy that recliner? What would they say if he went on a short vacation? Even small purchases like a new pair of shoes became something to explain or defend, and it hurt. Not because his sons were unkind, but because he felt like he'd handed over control of his life without realizing it. That's the risk no one talks about. When you open the curtain on your finances, it's very hard to close it again. Even the kindest family members can cross lines without meaning to. And in less fortunate cases, people who never paid much attention before might suddenly become very interested, but not in you, in your money. Martin noticed this too. A distant relative he hadn't heard from in years suddenly wanted to visit. A grandchild who used to forget his birthday started asking about his will. It's not that you shouldn't plan ahead. You absolutely should. Have a will, choose someone you trust for power of attorney, and make clear plans for emergencies. But you don't have to share every detail before it's necessary. Because once people see the full picture, your financial freedom might slowly start slipping away, bit by bit. Privacy is not the same as secrecy. It's protection. You don't owe anyone an explanation for buying a new TV or donating to a charity you care about. Your money is yours. You earned it through decades of hard work, decisions, and sacrifices that others may never fully understand. So protect your peace. Share only what's needed, when it's needed, and only with those who truly respect your boundaries. Because once finances become a family discussion, you might find yourself constantly justifying choices that should be yours to make. Secret number 2, every little health concern. As we get older, it's only natural that our bodies start to feel different. Maybe the knees creak a little more. Sleep gets harder. Aches come and go. And when you love your family, it feels normal to tell them these things. You might think, they care about me, they'll want to know. And often they do. But here's the part we don't often think about, how they process what we say. You might casually mention, my back's been acting up again, or I felt dizzy the other morning, just as small talk. But your children or grandchildren might hear that and panic. To them, it's a red flag. Suddenly, they're calling more often, booking appointments, offering to hire help. And in their concern, they might start treating you like you're fragile. Take Claire, for example. She's 76, a widow, and still fiercely independent. She volunteers at the library, takes care of her garden, and walks her little terrier every morning. One day, after doing a lot of yard work, she told her daughter her shoulders felt sore. Nothing serious, just a passing comment over coffee. But her daughter panicked. She scheduled a physical therapy visit, started calling every morning and night, and even suggested hiring someone to help with housework. Claire appreciated the love, but she also felt like she'd suddenly been downgraded from independent woman to someone who needed managing. And slowly, her daughter began saying things like, "Are you sure you should lift that?" Or, "Maybe it's time to stop driving," at night. All this from a single comment about sore shoulders. This is why oversharing small health issues can backfire. It can change how your family sees you, from strong and capable to someone who needs constant checking in. Now, let's be clear. If you have a serious condition, something that truly affects your life, of course your family should know. You deserve their support. But not every ache, every restless night, or every bit of stiffness needs to be a family conversation. You know your body. You know what's normal for you and what isn't. Trust that wisdom. And there's another side to this too. When you focus too much on what's wrong, when every conversation turns to what hurts, you might start to feel like that's all your life is now. But it's not. You are more than your symptoms. You have stories, passions, routines, and victories. Every day. Don't let discomfort become the headline of your life. Talk to your doctor. Keep track of your health. Take care of yourself. But when it comes to sharing with family, be thoughtful. Ask yourself, am I sharing this because I want support, or am I unintentionally giving away my independence? Because peace doesn't come from having everyone worry about you. It comes from knowing yourself and choosing what to share and when. That's not denial, that's dignity. Secret number 3, getting involved in family conflicts. As the older generation, it's tempting to step in when there's family drama. We've seen our children argue, watched in-laws disagree, and witnessed old sibling rivalries play out. Sometimes, we feel like we should step in, to help, to mediate, to bring peace. But here's what experience teaches us. The more you say, the more risk you take. Especially when it comes to family conflict, silence can be a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Miriam, a woman from my walking group, once told me a story she regrets to this day. She's 80, sharp as a tack, and people naturally turn to her for advice. One afternoon, while visiting her daughter, she gently suggested that her grandson, just 5 years old at the time, might benefit from cleaning up his toys after playtime. That's it. A soft, kind suggestion, but her daughter didn't take it. Well, she grew distant. The phone calls slowed. Invitations stopped. What Miriam thought was a harmless comment created a rift that never fully healed. Why? Because people don't always hear your words the way you intend them. What you mean as support can come across as judgment. What you see as helpful advice might feel like criticism. You try to mediate a disagreement between your adult children, and suddenly both think you're taking sides. You express concern about someone's parenting and find yourself shut out. Even if you mean well, speaking up in the wrong moment can leave scars that take years to fade. So what should you do instead? You can love your family without getting pulled into every argument. You can say, "I trust you to work it out," or I'm here if you need me, and leave it at that. Let them grow. Let them stumble. Let them figure things out, just like you once did. Because peace doesn't come from fixing every issue. It comes from protecting your own emotional well-being, from being the steady, calm presence in the middle of the storm. You've earned the right to step back, to be there, but from a gentle distance. Secret number 4, your personal regrets. As people get older, it's natural to look back and think about the choices they made. Some may wonder, what if I had taken that job? Or, what if I had married someone else? These questions live in quiet corners of the mind. Everyone has them. But here's something important to understand. Sharing those personal regrets with your family can sometimes do more harm than good. Imagine you're having tea with your daughter, and you suddenly say, "I wish I had never sold that house." Or, "I should have spent more time with you when you were young." Even if you mean well, those words can feel heavy. Your daughter might smile and nod, but inside she could feel sad or even responsible. She might think, "Was I not enough?" Or, "Did I do something wrong?" Sometimes, regrets carry emotional weight that shifts from your shoulders to someone else's without you realizing it. Regrets are deeply personal. They are part of your inner world, shaped by time and experience. And while it can feel like you're being honest or opening up by talking about them, not everyone knows how to handle that truth. Especially your children or grandchildren. They may not know what to say. They might feel confused or even hurt, thinking they somehow caused your disappointment. Instead of sharing your regrets directly, think about what you've learned from them. Turn the regret into a reflection. For example, instead of saying, "I regret never traveling," you could say, "I've realized how much I value exploring new places." That way, you're expressing what matters to you, without focusing on what went wrong. It also helps to write things down. A private journal or a letter to yourself can be a peaceful way to release those feelings. When you write, you're free. There's no pressure to protect anyone's emotions, and you can be as honest as you like. And over time, writing can bring healing. Of course, there may be moments when sharing a regret feels right, like when a loved one is going through something similar and could benefit from your wisdom. In those cases, your story can be a guiding light. But even then, it's important to focus more on the lesson than the loss. People, especially younger family members, respond better to hope than to sadness. Remember this: you are not your regrets. You are your courage, your kindness, your resilience. Your story isn't defined by the things you didn't do. It's shaped by the things you did do, the people you loved, and the moments you showed up, even when it was hard. And even now, at this stage in life, new experiences are still possible. It's never too late to try something different, to learn something new, or to find joy in unexpected places. Regret may knock on the door, but you don't have to invite it in. Smile at it, learn from it, and then gently send it on its way. This brings us to the final secret, one that's especially important for finding peace as we grow older. Secret number 5, your end-of-life plans. This is a sensitive topic, but one many older adults feel the need to talk about. You've lived a long life, and naturally, you want to make sure your affairs are in order. You may have thoughts about your will, your funeral, your belongings, and how you'd like to be remembered. These are all important matters. But here's the truth. Talking too much about your end-of-life plans with your family can sometimes create unnecessary anxiety. It can make your loved ones feel like they're already losing you, even while you're still very much alive. Some people bring up their funeral arrangements or what should happen to their things in every conversation. They might say, "When I'm gone, give this to your brother," or "I don't want anyone crying at my funeral. Play music instead." These comments might seem practical, but over time, they become emotional reminders of what's coming. And that can be difficult for your children or grandchildren to hear again and again. It's not that you should avoid making plans. In fact, you should absolutely make them. Having a will, choosing an executor, writing down your wishes, These are acts of love. They help your family avoid confusion and stress later. But once those decisions are made and written down, you don't need to keep revisiting them in everyday conversations. Choose one trusted person, a spouse, a child, or a friend, and share your detailed plans with them. Keep the documents organized in a safe place, and let that person know where everything is. That's enough. The rest of the time, live your life fully. Laugh with your family, tell stories, share recipes, play cards, go on walks, and talk about your hopes for the present. Not just what will happen after you're gone. When you focus too much on your death, the people around you may start to see you differently. They may treat you like someone who's already preparing to leave, instead of someone who's still here, full of life, wisdom, and joy. That's not how you want to be remembered. Life isn't over until it's over. And in the meantime, there's so much beauty to enjoy. The sound of birds in the morning, a warm cup of tea, the smile of someone you love. These little moments are life itself. Don't let thoughts of the future take away the joy of today. So yes, plan, prepare, take care of what needs to be taken care of. But once it's done, let go of the need to talk about it. Trust that your family will handle things with care when the time comes. Until then, focus on living. Because no matter your age, your story is still unfolding. And your presence, your laughter, your wisdom, your love is still the greatest gift you can offer. So there you have it. 5 deeply personal secrets that many older adults choose not to share with their families after 65. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. We talked about the importance of keeping certain things close to your heart, your financial details, your health concerns, your personal regrets, your end-of-life plans, and the private thoughts that shape your inner world. It's not about hiding or being secretive. It's about protecting your peace and theirs. As you grow older, you've earned the right to choose how you share yourself with the world. You've lived through joy, heartbreak, discovery, and growth. And you've come to understand that sometimes the quiet path is the wisest one. That's the beauty of this stage in life. You're no longer trying to prove anything to anyone. You've learned that not everything needs to be said, and not every truth needs to be told out loud. Some things are simply yours to carry, with grace, with strength, and with dignity. Your silence in certain areas isn't emptiness, it's presence. It's peace, it's power. So whether you're 65 or well into your 80s or 90s, know this: you still matter. Your voice still matters. And your choice to protect your mental and emotional well-being is something to be proud of. Let your family see your joy, your calm, your wisdom. Let them learn from your life, not through your regrets, but through your resilience. And above all, keep living in a way that feels true to you. If this video touched your heart or reminded you of someone you love, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps more people find this kind of content. And if you'd like to hear more stories, advice, and gentle reminders for living well after 60, consider subscribing to the channel. We're building a community here, a space where experience is celebrated and peace is a priority. Leave us a comment below and tell us, which secret spoke to you the most? Or is there something you've learned in your own life that you'd like to share with others? Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, you don't have to share everything to be deeply understood. Sometimes the quietest hearts carry the loudest wisdom.